So I like freeballing this. I saw something again on social media. Just recently, I had another Marine from one of my last units who unfortunately passed away. I do not know what the exact circumstances were, nor the exact story, but the way people are talking about it, you can kind of get the gist. And I'm not going to say it too because I don't want to presume wrong, but I'm presuming that it's a certain way. One of the reasons I presume is because people were in the comments, obviously, talking about how they remembered them, good feelings and all that, cool. But one of the ones, someone had said, hey, just trying to be encouraging. I get it. Be like, hey, if you're ever in a dark place, reach out to somebody. And that got under my skin a little bit. I know he didn't say it in a malicious way, and I don't think he said it in a bad way. He's just trying to be supportive in the way that he knows how. But what frustrates me is the number of people. Everyone says that. Even, what is it, DARE or whatever, ever since elementary school, middle school, when we have talks about mental health, we're always told, hey, if you're in a bad spot, reach out. The thing is most of the time, at least as far as I'm tracking, that does not work, because when you're in a bad space, you don't want to reach out, especially when it comes to depression and suicidal tendencies. When you are there, you don't want to talk to anyone because you're in a depressive spot, and so you draw into yourself, you're withdrawn. You don't, and I've been there multiple times. I'm not going to fucking reach out. One time when I was in the midst of carrying out my suicide plan, yeah, it's funny, I got a fucking plan. Literally, ironically, halfway through my plan, because of what I was doing actually disassociated me. I actually didn't have any qualms when someone had me reach out to a crisis helpline. So I found that very ironic. My plan actually helped me reach out because the disassociation disassociated me from my depression. So that's kind of funny. So irony is funny. So going back to the topic about when people say, hey, reach out to somebody, and I wouldn't say counter, but my add-on, which I think needs to be pushed 100 times more, is don't wait, especially when it comes to the veteran community. Do not wait for somebody to reach out to you. Do you know why I don't reach out to a lot of people in my unit? Because they don't give a fuck. Pardon my passionate language. They will say they care. I could blow out my brains, and 99% of the people who knew me would say, oh, I knew the guy, I missed him. They might drop one or two good stories. People might have their opinions. But the thing is did you care? You didn't talk to me a single freaking time. I've been out since 2018. That's why I'm not reaching out to you, because I know you don't care. So when I see that, it's like, if you cared, it would show in your actions. Freaking, when I had a homie die, and when I thought died, died, and that screwed me up a little bit, because I love that little bastard. I don't make social media posts. I didn't even talk about it. I realized, I tried to hit up every single guy that I knew in my unit. I kind of went the extra lengths and made a couple Discord pages for my unit and tried to add everyone onto it, but it's just everyone's doing their own lives and own thing, so it didn't really take off. I think I had about 7 or 8 people join. This is a good initiative. Didn't work out, but the point being, I'm not saying I hit up my fire team at least once a year. I freaking love the guys if they ever see this video. Stubbs, the Black Mamba, Guerrero, the White Mexican, freaking Stubbs, Guerrero, I'm being retarded. Sandoval, Sandy Cheeks, baby. Oh man, those guys were the homies, and I could, like even now, you know, when I got NJP'd and I was, you know, got maxed out, you know, they would hit me up. They even fucking cooked food for me and brought it to the barracks. Like, those are the homies. Anywho, glazing aside, initiative is what saves lives, because you have a greater chance of you reaching out to a homie who's either in the depressive season or he's going into one. Because I can tell you, when you are going into a depressive season, any little bit of candlelight feels like a fucking bonfire. I apologize for the cursing, but I'm passionate about this. Lord's working on me. So, I can't stress it enough that telling other people to reach out is not as effective as you reaching out with intentionality. You know, I don't reach out to some of my homies. I'm like, what's up, bro? You know, and every time I hear from them, I tell them, hey, I'm glad to hear that you're alive. Like, and that habit transposes with the people I know in the civilian side of things. You know, I got civilian homies where they're like, hey, you know, haven't heard from you, glad to hear that you're alive. And, you know, to them it might seem pretty dramatic. I was like, no, I'm genuinely glad that you are alive. You're not dead. Something didn't kill you and you didn't kill yourself. So, yeah, because, you know, I am familiar with 23 guys, as of now, since 2018. Well, some of them even during when I was in, but I know 23 guys that are dead. The first one I ever got exposed to killed himself the day after I talked to him. And that hit me hard, because as far as I'm tracking, I was the last one he spoke to. And that fucked me up. But that created the driving passion within me to take initiative, because, you know, a loss of life sucks. Whew, made it. So, you know, if I could make any point, is to say, don't wait for, whether it be friends in the normal world or, you know, your military homies on the veteran side, do not wait for them to reach out to you. You need to reach out to them. You know, it's not hard. You know, whether it be social media, texting, you know, I even remember talking to Gertie's mom. Like, I found her number. I got on social media, was able to make contact with her, and I talked to her, and we had a good talk. You know, because I wanted to, you know, just, you know, it's like if I can hit somebody up, or even after passing, I have the ability to get in contact with their family. I would say people, you can reach in contact with the people that you know. I'm not trying to fucking throw a guilt bone out there. I'm just saying. Initiative, that's all it is. Once a month, once every 6 months, once a freaking year, you know? Just take the time, hit a message. Hey man, how are you doing? When they respond 99% of the time, and they say, good. Just, you know, be a little sarcastic. Good? Oh, you know, this whole year's gone by and it's just good. No, seriously, give me the details. Try a little bit, you know, get them to respond a little bit more with initiative and intention. Show them that you care, and then you can make that difference. Don't wait for them to reach out to you. You take initiative to be that change.